Warning. Channel Robozoid contains adult language, adult content, strong opinions, and verbal brutality. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello. Just wanted to make sure we were on. Yes, it's me, the Robozoid, your semi-likable and occasionally tolerable curmudgeon of both the Rumble and YouTube airwaves. And I wanted to do like a hybrid of three little stories here, just because it's Sunday and, there's not much going on. A lot of people have just come back home from church, or probably went out to eat after church, or did what I did, probably slept in until about 12:30, only because, hey, there's nothing to do on Sundays. But I wanted to talk about these three little stories really quickly, because you have the first story is, you might recall how I played that little clip of Joseph Rubinet Biden, our supposed former president, who was really nothing more than just a corpse, dressed up as the president. And he's giving this little talk, and he's talking about when he met his first wife. I guess it was his first wife. He was mumbling and stammering so much you never can tell with Joe. And then he introduces who he calls Obama. And, well, that's because he's so out of it and confused. He doesn't really know what Obama looks like anymore. So he brings up an obvious imitator who doesn't look anything like Barack. And, well, that's just part of that. And, of course, we'll get into the next story right after talking about this little clip. Just take a look.
Mr. Chairman and Chancellor-elect Dean, and by the way, I always want to turn around to one guy and say, Barack, what are you doing? Come here.
Because I can't come to you.
Come here. I feel like he should be standing
that ain't
right
Barack.
to the left. Hey, you take this look at Barack?
Of course, Joseph Rubinet Biden honestly thinks that imitator looked like Obama and was Obama, because this is the kind of guy who's so racist that he thinks that all blacks look alike. And speaking of which, we've actually got Yona Schimmel here. Of course, you know him as Jimmy Kimmel. I know him as Yona Schimmel, named after Yona Schimmel's Deli in the Bronx, I think. Ask Michael Savage about that. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, he thinks all blacks look alike, and even he has to admit that, yeah, Iran was definitely a threat to the United States and the rest of the world, and yet he still finds a way to blame it all on President Trump. Just take a look.
Presidents, after wasting $40 billion and blowing up a school full of children, would stick with it. They would keep going until their demands for the reasons they started this war were met. They would keep bombing until they knew for sure that Iran would stop enriching uranium and murdering protesters, but not Donald Trump. Our president, he looked at the price of gas.
It's a good thing his set is so dark because no one can see him.
Between his porky pink legs and tiptoed right back out to the golf course. Mission accomplished, everyone.
This is bad comedy.
Yona, you're not funny, okay? You're not funny. You're not relevant. You show more sympathy over a fucking lion getting killed as opposed to, well, children being slaughtered in Iran by their own people, by Ayatollah Khomeini. So don't talk to me about Trump's genocide. Just shut your gob already, you overpaid puppet. Why are we even talking about this irrelevant bastard anyway? I mean, thank God his set was so dark you couldn't even see him at all. But in any case, well, we do have to talk about a man who was gone, who once was president, to, well, a man who could potentially be the next president, maybe, and that would be J.D. Vance, as he's dealing with a heckler who basically is one of those pro-Palestinian bastards, keeping in mind, of course, there is no such thing as Palestine. That's a bastardization of the Philistines, who were really Greek. And also, of course, he does an excellent job handling this heckler. So let's just take a look at that.
But the president, excuse me, sir, right now, you see more humanitarian aid coming into Gaza than it has any time in the past 5 years.
because we have taken that situation seriously.
A little while later,
The administration supports a genocide in Gaza. And here's my response to that. When we came in, the humanitarian situation in Gaza was an absolute catastrophe. You know who's the person who got a peace agreement in Gaza? Donald J. Trump. So if you want to complain about what happened in Gaza, so if you want, sir, to complain about what happened in Gaza, why don't you complain about Joe Biden and the last administration? We're the administration that solved that problem.
All right, and lastly, we have Sabrina Carpenter. I have no idea who she is. I've never heard any of her songs. I've never heard a single note from her before. Apparently, she's some accomplished piano player, some pop star, I guess. I mean, she's pretty, and she's actually pretty to look at, but she basically holds this concert where some idiot is basically yodeling in the middle of her show. And we're talking about where she's at the piano doing a quiet little ballad, and some stupid Muslim bitch is basically yodeling. And at first she finds that disturbing. And of course, she doesn't like it at all in the beginning. So let's take a look at this clip.
Is that what you're doing? I don't like it. That's your culture, is yodeling? Is this Burning Man? What's going on? This is weird.
Of course, Sabrina Carpenter would have to scale that back with an apology that said, "My apologies, I didn't see this with my own eyes, and I couldn't hear clearly. My reaction was pure confusion, sarcasm, and not ill-intended." I don't know why Sabrina Carpenter even apologized at all. She shouldn't have. Of course, she goes on to also say, "Now I know what a zagrausta is." I'm not even sure I'm saying this right. Now I know what a zagrausta is, and I welcome all cheers and yodels from here on out. You shouldn't have apologized, Sabrina. You should not have apologized. What were you thinking apologizing, Sabrina? What were you thinking? I thought you had a backbone. I thought you had a spine. Apparently you don't, because you actually apologized to the dangerous baby religion of Islam, the unevolved child religion of this primitive culture of ninth century throwbacks. And you're apologizing? I'm sorry, Sabrina, but I thought you had a spine. I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You know, to quote Optimus Prime in Transformers the movie. Apparently you're not, because you actually apologized to the throwbacks. I find that very disgraceful and shameful. I've never bought a copy of your music. I don't know any of your songs. I don't have any of your records. And you know something? I don't want to buy them now. I mean, you might as well be boycotted for being a complete and utter kowtow artist, for being a total, knee-jerk liberal. Actually, I don't even know if she is a liberal. She may not be, but nevertheless, she should not have apologized. That was stupid. She shouldn't have. In any case, this has been the Robozoid, giving you these 3 little stories. Well, 4 if you count the Yona Schimmel thing. And I just wanted to share that with you on this Sunday, because I'm kind of a sharing guy today. I guess I'm in a sharing mood for some reason. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and of course, check me out over on both YouTube and Rumble. And also remember that wokeness is weakness, which apparently Sabrina Carpenter has demonstrated. And, well, yeah, be here or be absolutely nowhere else.